Boy, this ice storm, some snow and severe weather to the south really taking the headlines this morning, and the Midwest has been waking up to a lot of the freezing rain that's been coming down as well. Here's a look at New York, New York City, Bedford, PA. It's a good sampling. We've got snow for some of you, freezing rain for others. New York, we've been watching closely. We're going to check in with Michael Estime in just a moment.
As we take a look at radar, we're kind of in the thick of it. This is going to be a quick hit, so to speak. By the time we get to the afternoon, we'll see some improvements. But it's going to be a very tough morning commute. We have snow right now in New York. That's where temperatures are below freezing, less of an ice concern.
Look at Virginia and the
that's where the ice concern is.
Yeah, and you've also got some lightning and thunder.
The southern part of this, there's a lot of instability. In fact, we just had a tornado watch issued for the state of Kentucky. And all of that energy is going along into these areas where we have colder temperatures possible. So we've had video of thunder sleet and thunder freezing rain across parts of Pennsylvania, and now we're getting it in Virginia. D.C. right now, 33 degrees. Temperatures have been up and down, but I think we're going to get really lucky. I do think D.C. is going to stay a rain story, but Philadelphia different. That's where we do have freezing rain, and ice could be a problem. Yeah, what a mess, and a lot of that extends over a good chunk of central Pennsylvania. We do have this ice storm warning that we brought to you yesterday, continues through this morning, goes down into Virginia. You were talking about some areas there, and West Virginia, and a portion of Maryland, where we've got the thunder, sleet, thunder, rain coming down. Here's what we've got when we've got the reports coming in. Boy, it is widespread, and a lot of this affecting portions of our nation's capital, just around there, rather. They've got some warm air at our nation's capital. Jane Menard reporting the rain because of that warm air right over the city. And then you drive up towards Baltimore. And then boom. The difference of a couple temperatures changes everything. Yeah. Here's a look at State College, Pennsylvania. This has been an interesting camera this morning. We've seen some snow. We've seen some freezing rain. Temperatures right now well below freezing. You're at 29. We're getting a break in the precipitation, so a little bit of a dry slot moving through with overcast skies. But take it easy out there. No matter what you were waking up to, it is a rough morning for folks in the Northeast. And like you said, Britta, depending if you were planning on traveling, there are impacts all over the place. Hopefully you don't have to. Fox Forecast Center has been monitoring the travel impacts with the chilling storm. We've talked about the wintry mix out there, heavy snow, freezing rain. This morning's commute is a headache all across the Northeast. Here's a shot of 278 Staten Island, New York. And if you notice off to the side there, you can see some of the snow reported out there. The temperature at the New York temperature there just dropped between 33, 34 or so. But look at the roads are pretty wet out there. It's one of those days where a lot of us, even kids, are home from school or have a delay. Check in with your district if you didn't hear from them yesterday. Most of you probably already know. But here's what we've got with the snow coming down. Some of you look at Newark. They're dealing with some freezing rain. Be careful out there headed to the roads. Now, that's Newark. We want to jump over and go across the Hudson River, head on over into New York. That's where we find Fox weather meteorologist Michael Estime live in Central Park right now. And Michael, checking in with you this morning. I know Staten Island Chuck called for spring. He was wrong. How does it look where you live right now this morning, or where you're at?
Yeah, definitely much more like what Punxsutawney Phil said. 6 more weeks of winter, and boy, we are in the thick of it right now. You're joining us live from Central Park. Current temperatures with my cool little Kestrel that we have here, about 30 to 31 degrees. The wind chill, by the way, 27. Craig and Britta, listen to this. It might be hard to pick up on the microphone, but this is going to tell you what type of precip that we are currently experiencing. Do you hear this? I'm not sure if you can hear it really well over this microphone, but it's been really interesting. We went from rain to snow. It was a fairly abrupt change within the past maybe an hour and a half-ish or so. But I would say that within the past, say, 45 minutes now, it has been pretty much a steady sleet. And that sleet, as you know, is certainly starting to add up. Now, we've not picked up a ton right now in terms of snow, about, I'd say, less than a half an inch of snow. But by the time everything is said and done, there is an opportunity that we could pick up just less than 2 inches in Central Park. Now, if you're joining us around the Hudson Valley, that's north and west of downtown New York City, we're perhaps pushing closer to 3 to 4 inches possible for you. That sleet, though, as you guys know, can sometimes diminish snow totals. So I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with, say, an inch or less in the city. The reason for it is because we may pick up a little bit more on this sleet than we were anticipating. So the sleet accumulation may be a little higher. The snowfall accumulation may be suppressed a little bit. But either way, the impacts are still the same. We're perhaps going to see some light glazings of ice on the sidewalk. If you look with me right here, what you'll notice, and I'll take the hand-dandy Fox Weather ruler, but you'll notice, and I'll clear out a little patch for you just so you can kind of visually see. We've picked up, again, I'd say at best maybe a quarter of an inch or so of snow, but on top of that snow, there's certainly some of that sleet, and that sleet's kind of helping to pack things down. There's been a number of runners that we've seen. You can actually see one of those runners behind me. If you are coming to Central Park, I know Robert Ray mentioned this from Chicago, and I think the same can be said here, that you just need to really take it easy while you're walking or while you're running here in Central Park, because there has been a couple of slick and slippery spots. So if your kids are on that 2-hour delay, as Craig mentioned, a lot of schools here are either closed or on a delay. Give it some time, because again, there will be slick spots, especially on untreated surfaces. You know, we did walk around here for a little bit. We're right by what's called Tavern on the Green, a really wonderful little restaurant here. And guys, I'll say this, I'm kind of excited for the doors to open, because something's telling me that this is going to be definitely a hot chocolate sort of morning for a lot of folks. We have that winter weather advisory that doesn't expire until about 11 o'clock or so this morning, at which point everything will transition over to rain. So you do want to make sure that you get out there and kind of clear some of that snow and sleet off your sidewalk, or else it's going to turn into one big messy slush by the time we get to this afternoon. Guys?
Yeah, no kidding. And coming into work this morning, I know they're treating a lot of the roads out and about. Michael, it's a good idea to get some coffee or some hot chocolate there. I know you're a hot chocolate fan. This morning, have you seen anybody out and about? I know a lot of people are thinking, all right, it's New York. We can handle a little bit of snow. Probably staying home, too.
Yeah, you know, Craig, it's actually a really good. I'm going to see if my cameraman here, Paul, can maybe pivot the camera with me a little bit. But yeah, you can see there are some folks, Craig, just to answer your question, that are out walking, getting their errands done, going for a little run. The roadways behind us, again, we're right off of 67th Street here in Central Park. But yeah, to answer your question, folks are still out and about, but definitely there's been a lot of road crews certainly clearing the sidewalks and, of course, salting the streets just to make, you know, going to and from a little easier here on a Thursday morning.
Yeah, no kidding. You look nice and warm, and guess what, Michael? We'll get ready, because we'll be talking about another one over the weekend. We're going to check in with you throughout the morning. Fox Weather meteorologist Michael Estimate, thanks so much, my friend. Stay warm.